Yo, what's up, y'all? We're back with another action figure review. I just got this bad boy in today, and I wanted to take a quick look at the CT Toys Spider-Man 2.0. I love this Spider-Man. This is my favorite Spider-Man. I don't care about the scoops. I don't care about none of that other stuff. This Spider-Man has a collection of everything that I would want in a Spider-Man figure. So, I don't know. My days of buying more Spider-Man is really going to be limited from here on out. But every now and then, when I pick this guy up, I like to put him in a pose and I don't want to move him. So what I do is I end up buying an extra. I don't know how many I'm going to end up buying. I don't know how far on this is going to go, but I just keep finding myself buying extra. And when CT Toys showed their solicitation for this guy, I said, yo, to get another one of these versions or keep getting a couple depending on the price, man, I was elated. The likeness looked spot on, and I was just hoping that this figure was going to definitely come out as good or even better as the Revoltech original Spider-Man. And we're going to cover that in a quick bit, but I wanted to take a guess for you guys real quick. Looking at all of these figures right here, who do you think is the CT Toys version? I'll pause it for a minute, give you guys a quick second to think, and then I'll come right back. If you chose this figure right here, you are incorrect. This is actually not the CT Toys version, and neither is this one. The CT Toys version is this beauty right here. Off the jump, I want to say CT Toys did an outstanding job with the likeness of these figures. He looks awesome. I want to do a quick comparison. I'm not going to be talking too much in this video. Just wanted to give you guys a quick idea of what the next one looks like. I mean, I've already swapped out his eye plates. One thing I noticed when I swapped out the eye plates is his eyes actually didn't pop out of the socket when I put the head sculpt back on the neck. A problem I did definitely face with the Revoltech Spider-Man. So yeah, I did already swap out the eyes. They swap in and out, no problem. And there is one main difference when you're looking at both of these figures that'll give you an idea immediately if it's the CT Toys version. Can you pick it out? Now the CT Toys version actually does not have any texture on his outfit, whereas the Revertech version does. And there's also a couple other differences too that you may not point out as easy. The red on the Revertech version is actually a little bit different. Looks like there's a little bit more of a metallic orange in it. It's a little more glossy. Whereas the CT Toys version doesn't look as glossy, but it's still kind of glossy. But the colors don't quite match up. And I'm okay with this one. I'm okay with the CT Toys version. I have no problems with the lack of texturing on it at all. I don't know, man. I think this Spider-Man looks hella cool, really, honestly. And there are other differences too that I'll point out in a second. But other than that, like as far as the likeness goes, the color might be a little bit off. The blue, I think you may not be able to pick it up, but I think the blue looks more glossy on the CT Toys version rather than the Revoltech version. So that's another difference that you can kind of point out. It looks like the CT Toys version might have a smaller head. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but the likeness is still there for the most part. It looks like the bulb on the back of the Revoltech version is a little more bulbous, for lack of a better word. And I'll cover the accessories in a second. Let me just get this Spider-Man out of the way. So taking a quick look at the accessories, I didn't want to make this video too extensive, but we do have the eye plates right here, and they all are no real complaints with the eyes. I think maybe the Revoltech version has a little more of a radiant look. Then again, I might be tripping. Honestly, it looks like the colors match up fairly well, actually. But there is one issue I did run into. So these are the little wings that go under the underarm pits, and I think actually they sent me two of the same one. So I don't know if that problem will be universal, but just keep that in mind. Be on the lookout. So that is a bummer. However, I don't really plan on using those accessories too much, so I'm not tripping about them too tough. And as far as the rest of the accessories, he does get a. Actually, I think this one was the wing that goes under his armpit. So yeah, he has two of these for the same side. So that's unfortunate. But the pegs for these other ones, the other accessories that he have, actually port into his hands no problem. I have no issues with that. And I think that they look cool enough. I think that maybe in comparison, I don't have the other one with me, but I think that these ones are a little more, the green is a little less saturated. It looks a little more foggy, like cloudy. And then he also comes with his two webs. If I can get this out of the package right here. And I think it is, yeah, should have bought that out, but I gotta find the original Spider-Man's box. But I think maybe the original has more of a green shading to it. But I don't know, man. These still look all right to me, and they put in his hands fairly well. One thing I did notice is that he does not come with the pick that you use to poke out his eyes. So that was interesting. Not that you necessarily need it. I'm sure you can find something and kind of poke out the eyes, like a toothpick or something. And then he comes with his set of hands here, and I think the hands are done fairly well. Like the sculpting on them, like they actually look pretty good. Looks like the hands, he has the identical set of hands that the Revoltech version comes with. I don't know, maybe I might be tripping, but it seems like the hands might be a little larger than the Revoltech version. And I also noticed that the swapping out the hands for the Revoltech version was a little more difficult. Like the CT Toys version, it does hold much better. Well, I guess they both hold about the same amount, but it's easier to swap out the CT Toys version, and I don't find it being loose. And I also think that the hinge might be a little loose on the hands, but it's not too bad. It's a little more loose than the Revoltech version, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out this guy's tension, the joints, is actually in some parts it might be just a little too tight. Like his knees are actually super freaking tight, but the tightest point of his body would be his thigh swivel, and they do function. I was able to get it to spin eventually, but they are very tight, and I ended up stopping. I don't want to really cover that for the video because I was trying to find my silicone shock oil and I was not able to locate that. So I'm going to pause on that. But yeah, the swivel works, no problem, no complaints right there. But the rest of his joints are actually, I would say, generally tighter than the Revoltech version, which was very, very shocking. Down to the toe hinge. The toe hinge is much more stiff. Can still do that thing where the foot points the other way, but oh wait, you know what? I don't know. It feels like the more I mess with it, now it's starting to get a little bit looser. But I think that generally speaking, like his ankles are tighter. The joint might be a little different too. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm tripping on that. Okay, yeah, you won't be able to see it from this part. Yeah, maybe I'll take another look at it, but it seems like this one has less of a, well, it's a little more stiff when it comes to the swivel part, but you still get the same functions. You still get the hinge at the knee, at the calf, the shin, and those knees are, ooh, Lord, those knees are super, super freaking stiff. Even the elbows are super stiff as well. You know, I don't want to really cover too much of the articulation, but in comparison, I find that there is nothing that the Spider-Man can't do that the Revoltech version can. Down to the ab crunch, the quality of this CT Toys version. Oh man, when Revoltech finds out about how this figure turns out, they are going to be gunning for CT Toys. The bicep swivel is pretty stiff. I definitely had to break that in, so you do want to be careful about that. But in general, yeah, like the quality of this Spider-Man is just like, it's freaking amazing. Amazing. And like the price, the seller I got it from on AliExpress actually put up a notice that said that he was no longer delivering to the US. So that is a little unfortunate, but I did buy another CT Toys version from another seller. We'll see how that turns out. These daggone tariffs, man. They killing me. They killing me. But yeah, hopefully that'll, work itself out. The leg just popped off, but it does take some force, like that's just me not using that swivel. I got to get that silicone shock oil. But yeah, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really need to go over too much. That ab crunch is You know, everything. CT Toys did a crazy good job with this figure. Man, I had to buy a couple more, honestly, and I don't know, before they start canceling all these shipments and stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing with this figure right now, but I do want to stand him up real quick and do a quick size comparison before I get up out of here. I don't know. I think I probably need maybe like two more. Maybe I might get three. You know, I had bought this. I mean, you're probably gonna find some more expensive prices from here on out, but I had got this one for like what, like 24, I think, shipped. Everything is identical. You still have the rotation on the inside right there. You still have the movement right here. The Spider-Man emblems, logos look. Actually, the CT Toys version, the spider looks a little more uh bulbous, I guess. So there is a slight difference, you know, but it's not too bad, man. Like even the joints are pretty much identical. I just want to get this guy in a quick vanilla pose and show you what he looks like there. I'm gonna come back in a second. And here's what they both look like side by side. I have the CT Toys on the left, and yeah, just about they are the same size. I mean, the vanilla pose is not as fluid, but yeah, just about, man, they are definitely the same size. And I did actually notice that he does have some texturing on his outfit. It's just not as pronounced, not as defined as the real one. And then I'll also show you guys the box that he came in before I get out of here. Yeah, the original Revoltech Spider-Man's ankles are definitely a little looser, but that could be due to me fooling around with it. But yeah, here's the CT Toys box. Not too much going on with it. I don't have the standard release of this box, so I'm not sure if they even gave him a different box, but there's the back of it. Yeah, yeah, nice little small compact, not too bad. It did show up pretty banged up, thank you AliExpress. They never fail when it comes to that. But then the final thoughts, very happy that CT Toys released this Spider-Man, and I'm very excited to see what they do next. I like the CT Toys Spider-Man just as much as I like the regular version. The accuracy is spot on. The tension and the joints, some of them are even tighter than the Revoltech version. But yes, I would absolutely recommend it if you were on the fence about getting the Revoltech version. This is a great time to jump in before those tariffs have everybody canceling where they are available at. So yes, I would definitely recommend this figure. All right, y'all, that's the video. I'd love a like. If not, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.